Hello. How are you? Am I live? That's the big question. I'm waiting to see if I'm actually live. It doesn't look that way. Yes, I'm live. Okay. It takes 44 seconds to figure it out on YouTube. It's actually quite a bit quicker to figure it out on Twitch. Not that I'm saying anything, but anything. Hello. How are you? I wanted to do a live stream because I haven't done a live stream on this channel in a long time. And also, I am working on a lot of videos. I'm editing a lot of videos and I wasn't going to have a video ready for this week. And last week, I actually as well didn't upload as much as I would have liked because I went home to Mayo and I didn't have any coverage. So that was unexpected. I took an unexpected holiday last week, sort of. So I thought I'd do a Q&A. I've been wanting to do a Q&A for a while. I put up a community post on my YouTube page a while back. Today I tweeted out. I put up an Instagram question on my stories. And also I put up a Patreon post. So I have questions from all over the shop to address. And also obviously any questions you want to put there in the chat, go for it. Hello. Welcome. Come on in, everybody. This is amazing. This is a lot more viewers than I'm used to on Twitch. Twitch, if you don't know, is a live stream platform. But yes, for anyone who hasn't seen my hair yet, this is my hair. I cut it off and donated it. That was my last video. I am enjoying it. Sorry, I've seen a question from Sharon there. I am enjoying it. It's grown a little bit, in that it's now a little bit easier to manage. So I was unable to curl it at all there for a while, and that was very stressful. So before we get into it, I just want to say hello. I also want to show you my new merch. I don't think the merch shelf is showing on my videos just yet. YouTube support is on it though, for whatever reason. But it's clisare.rocks/merch. It's in the description of the video. And I can put it in the chat as well. But basically, for those of you that know me from the Try channel, people are... I've just realised I forgot to put my red lipstick on to match my jumper. Damn it. I did match my eyes. I've got this like glittery orange eyeshadow and then it fades out to a darker red, but I'm sure that you can't see it. It's fine. So for those of you that know me from the Try channel, on the Try channel, a lot of people I noticed lately have been calling me the Fire Queen. And it's because I really like spicy stuff. But it inspired me to design this hoodie because I love all over print hoodies. So here it is. It's got flames, and then it's got the Fire Queen on the back. So these are all my previous designs there. And yeah, I'm really excited about this. Thank you so much for the super chat. So yeah, please check out clisare.rocks/merch if you like that. Or if you just want to support me and just wear your support. And not necessarily have like Clisare written across your jumper. You know what I'm saying? So there's also a plain red sweatshirt that says Fire Queen on the back with a small Clisare C on the front chest. And then there is a recycled t-shirt, which I'm very proud of because it's recycled polyester and cotton. And that only comes in black, but that is Fire Queen on the front. And then there are non-recycled t-shirt options that come in yellow and red. But yeah. So there's lots of questions that I need to get to. I'm just going to answer one because from the chat right now because we're talking about merch. And then we're going to get into the platform by platform. But TJ, you said any progress on the Petroflower merch? I actually had Petroflower merch up on my merch shop for quite some time. TJ, if you don't know, I'm pretty sure you are the person that designed that for me. And the Petroflower design is the one that the microphone is in front of. So it's that one there. That one there. And I believe I have it on a t-shirt. That hoodie could do with some flames to liven it up a bit. It definitely could, yeah. Okay, so it looks awesome, but I'm probably not confident enough to wear that colour combination. That's totally fair enough. Red and orange isn't for everyone. As a redhead, I used to stay away from red. I say as a redhead. Alex would disagree that I'm a redhead. But anyway, that's a story for another day. I used to stay away from red, but I'm now embracing it and loving it. So let's get to the questions. Now, I did promise my patrons that I was going to do the questions first. One thing I want to say off the top is that because I'm about to start drinking it, I see Danny there in the chat. Danny is one of my patrons, and Danny sent me some tea. He sent me some Yaupon, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Yaupon tea. Sorry, I'm just pulling a hair off my desk here. And so I'm going to try it. I'm trying the medium blend. I don't know why I'm showing it to you because I forgot to bring the box up, so it's just a cup of tea. But I'm trying the medium blend. It's supposed to have like caramel notes. It's tea from Texas. So thank you, Danny, for sending it to me. I wasn't 100% sure if this was the kind of tea you're supposed to put milk and sugar into or not the kind of tea that you're supposed to put milk and sugar into. Now, the instructions said steep it for 4 to 6 minutes, which I have definitely done at this point. And so I'm assuming it's the kind of tea that you don't put milk and sugar into. So I'm just going to take out my tea bag here and just dump it on my desk like an absolute disgusting human being. Because I did not think to bring up a tea bag plate. And yeah, I'm just going to drink that now and see how I like it. Now, Danny, you can't be mad at me if I don't like it, because I'm a breakfast tea kind of gal. I'm pretty sure this is like not breakfast tea, if I had to guess. I think it's like that other kind of tea. Is it herbal tea? It smells... Oh, it does smell nice. Oh my God, it smells very caramelly, and it did say this was caramel notes. It's a tea that was made by indigenous people in Texas. Wow. It does smell really good. I really hope I like it. That is nicer than any herbal tea I've had. It doesn't taste as caramelly as it smells. Yeah. I wonder, should I put milk and sugar into that? Is that the kind of tea? But yeah, no, I do like that. Thank you so much, Danny. I haven't tried the green tea because I'm not a huge fan of green tea. I might try the darker one with some milk and some sugar and see, but that's very nice. Okay, so again, I'm going to move on now to the Patreon questions, but I just want to address something I've just seen in the chat. Explain Irish spelling, Claire. My name is not spelled Claire. It is Clare. My username is Clisare, which is Clare with an IS in the middle. And it just has a long and silly story behind it. But my real name is Clare. I'm named after the County Clare, and County Clare is spelled Clare. So I'm really, really picky about that. So please clip this and share this every time somebody says Claire. Claire is, I want to say, the British spelling. I don't know the answer to that. CLA for the or would be the Irish language spelling, and CLAIR is the French spelling, which I do get sometimes, which I just can't believe. Do I look French to you? Hello guys, come on in. So I'm going to go to Patreon questions first, because I did promise patrons that I would answer those questions first. Some of these I'm going to be able to put on the screen, some of them I'm not. I'm not going to be able to put my Instagram questions on the screen because I couldn't figure out how to get my iPhone screen on the broadcast, but that's fine. I will catch up then with the chat here on YouTube and make sure that I get to a lot of your questions. So let's go to Patreon first. So a lot of people, so my patrons are in my Discord. We have a Patreon only Discord, and I didn't see any questions in there. So a lot of people on Patreon chose to put them on the post I put up about this live stream instead. So the first one is Perry T asked me, since you like whiskey now, what is your current go-to whiskey? And I was in a Tri-Channel video a while back where we were taste testing different Jameson whiskies, I think. And there was a stout. I don't know what, is it just a stout a whiskey? I can't remember, or was it like casket something? Anyway, there's an IPA one and there's a stout one, and the stout one is unbelievable. The stout one is absolutely by far and away my favourite whiskey. So Jameson Stout Edition, so good. So good. Phil asks, is there any topic you'd really like to cover but either haven't had the chance, aren't yet able to do it, or aren't sure your viewers would be interested in it? If so, what is that? I would say there's probably loads. Do you know, like I have notebook after notebook. I was seeing that I have one in reach there to show to you. But I have notebook after notebook after notebook just with like ideas written down that I either never got to or never made or I'm going to make, or that I didn't think people would be interested in, or whatever else. And then I also, a lot of the way that I make notes for myself is that I actually have a WhatsApp group with myself and I message myself. And so that is the best piece of advice I can give you, is create a WhatsApp or whatever, messaging app you use. Create a group with you and maybe your significant other or a friend that is happy for you to do this, and then immediately remove them from the group. So the group now only has you in it and you can message yourself all the time. And so I have groups for different things. I have groups to organize myself, groups for my creative ideas. And so there are loads, absolutely loads. Let me pick one to show you. So let's scroll back to like the start of this group, because I bet there's ideas I just never did. And I bet I'll be like, I wish I should have done that. I should go back. Let's see. Irish tongue twisters. I've actually been meaning to do that video for like, I'd say 4 years now at this point. So, Irish tongue twisters is a big one. Welcome in, guys. Someone has corrected me. The Caskmates Stout is the name. Caskmates? It's Jameson Caskmates? Interesting. I didn't see the word Caskmates on it, but thank you for correcting me. And happy enough to get it right so other people can go buy it. Just seeing Danny's message there as well. Danny, yes, thank you for the tea. I know that you went through hell on earth to get a place that would actually ship tea to Ireland. This is really weird, but is this a Canadian tea, did you say, Danny? And there was an issue with getting it into Ireland and it kept getting sent back by Irish Customs, which is just really weird. Apparently there's some ingredient in it that Irish Customs just would not allow into the country. So, yeah. It's pretty weird, but we eventually got it, and thank you so much. Come here to me now, lads, in the chat. Would you like some like little music in the background? I could put like a little light music in the background. Do you normally have little bits of music in the background of live streams that you watch? So that was an Irish tongue twister is an example of something that I meant to do ages ago and I have never done yet. Some things, there are a lot of topics that I really wanted to cover and I never got to cover, or I never felt like people would be interested in them, or that I was the right person to do it, until I started live streaming on Twitch. And so Twitch has allowed me to cover a lot more stuff and make stuff live and not have to worry about, kind of getting it right and then editing it till it's perfect and etc. Things like commentary, just like reviewing stuff, talking about internet drama. God, I love talking about internet drama, and I really don't do that on this channel because that's not really what this channel is about, but I love doing that on Twitch, I must say. And like, what else have I done? Reacting to videos I've done over on Twitch, which again, this channel is not like, that's not what this channel is about, but I wanted to do it. I like to watch other people do it. Just long form, really super long form stuff. Twitch has allowed me to do that, where I didn't really do that here before that. So let me see now. So we'll go over to where we go next. Twitter, because I think I got a good few on Instagram. And I got a lot on YouTube community page. So let's go to Twitter first. And I might be able to show you my screen here. For Twitter. There we go. Okay. So I'm just going to go down the list. I tweeted out, ask me anything. It's for live stream Q&A. Nathan Benegas asked, what kind of career opportunity would it take for you to relocate outside of Ireland? If you mean permanently, that's not happening. I'm not interested. I've lived outside of Ireland. I have loved living outside of Ireland. The only place you'd actually tempt me is Australia. God, I loved Australia so much. But it's not happening. I'm home now. I'm happy. And I'm staying here. And also, my whole feckin' personality at this stage is about Ireland. All my content's about Ireland. Like, it would really, like, fuck me over a little bit to not be in Ireland. But it's more about I'm settled. I have a very good group of friends that I love very much. A couple of groups of friends, actually. Ones that I grew up with and ones I made as an adult. I play a sport. You know, I'm really into the things that I do here. So I wouldn't be going anywhere. I was offered a job actually previously when I worked with YouTube. Welcome in, guys, and bye everybody who's leaving. But before I went a full-time content creator by myself, I actually worked as a contractor for YouTube. And I'm not talking about when I was YouTube ambassador to Ireland. I'm actually talking about I worked for YouTube Originals as a content manager. And so that was my full-time job. And part of the reason that, I don't know if I've ever spoke about this, but part of the reason that I went full-time YouTubing was because I was working behind the scenes. I was working as a post-production, I suppose you could say, like working with the James Charles Innocent Influencer series. And it really inspired me seeing these young creators like go for it. And I was like, God, I never really went for it. I never really tried. And then I never fully quit the job, fully went for it. And then COVID happened and I was like, nah, I'm going to do it now. I'm going to try it and we're going to see what happens and we're going to figure it out. And I figured it out so far. And I'm delighted. So at that time, before I finished in that role, before I made that decision, I was actually offered a job working in copyright. What was it called? Copyright ID. In YouTube, it's the system that they use to identify copyright, which I was really, really super interested in. I was like the specialist for it on our team. I think it's a really amazing tool. It's super complicated and it's really, really clever. And I understand that people abuse it and stuff like that, but it actually won an engineering Emmy. It's pretty sick. And so that would have been my dream job if I was going to remain full-time employed for somebody else. And I got offered it and it was in the UK and I turned it down because I do not want to leave Ireland. Not interested. Is there any film TV show that everybody loves but you just can't stand? Alternatively, is there any film TV show that you love but everyone else seems to hate? I would say that a lot of people, and a very good friend of mine in particular, keep referencing Peep Show, especially lately. And I couldn't get into Peep Show at all. And I'm totally up to giving it another go, but I just couldn't get into it. Is there any film, TV show that you love but everyone else seems to hate? Sorry, just actually to go back, I also couldn't get into Better Call Saul, but we've recently got into it and I'm watching it now. And I'm mad into it now. No spoilers. Is there any film, TV show that you love that everyone else seems to hate? I don't know. I can't think of that off the top of my head. There's lots of them. I would say first and foremost, the first thing I'd have to say is it's probably a reality TV show. I quite like The One is brilliant. are you the one? Is that it? Where you have to like, they put 10 people in a house and they're like, we have paired you all off, like you all have a perfect match in here and you have to figure out yourself who it is. So good. And then they only win the money at the end. They figure it all out. Excellent reality TV show. I also quite like Marriage or Mortgage. It's where they convince a couple, like a wedding planner and a real estate agent try to convince a couple that they should spend all of their money on one or the other. Such a good show. I also really like The Circle. I really like reality TV shows. Those are the ones that Alex hates. And everything else we quite like together. Oh, actually, here's a TV show that I hate, that everyone else seems to love. Billions. Can't get into it. Gave it 2 seasons. Gave up on it. Alex kept watching it without me. I can't. Don't get it. What was the nastiest thing you've had to taste on the Try channel? So that was the original question, which would obviously be durian, but there was a follow-up that said that isn't durian or alcohol with mayonnaise in it. So in that case, it would be, I did this spicy teddy bear challenge where we had to eat the world's spiciest teddy bear. And it tasted terrible. And then not only that, but I swallowed it. I was with Grania and we went with the approach of swallowing it, thinking get it out of our mouths quicker and then we can drink milk and all will be well. No. If something's burning the mouth off you, I learned, do not swallow it because then it burns the inside of your stomach. And I was rolling around on the floor all night, like in writhing in agony. It was horrendous. Oh, hang on. Save Fall Guys is trending. I'm sorry. I need to check this out. What's happening to Fall Guys? What's happening? Something happening. Every issue with every map in Fall Guys. Oh, yeah. I was having a bit of an issue with it today. Anyway, sorry. I was live streaming Fall Guys today and I was glitching. I had to restart it. Boxers or briefs? On me, I go for the essentially like lady boxers. They're shorts and they're high waisted, but they're not loose. Does that make sense? Do you watch much YouTube? What kind of videos do you usually watch if you do? Oh, here we go. So I watch so much YouTube, and I'm addicted to the H3 podcast. I watch the H3 podcast every single day. I know they don't make a video every single day, but sometimes it takes me longer than a day to watch them. So I will end up watching it every single day. I also watch commentary videos, all of the ones that come up in my feed. Drew Gooden, Chad. I'm trying to think. Philly D, I don't watch him every day anymore, but I watch quite a lot of Philly D. Hassan. Sorry, I'm just seeing the chat there. Married at First Sight is also a very good TV show. Do we have any mods in the chat? I don't 100% know if we do, because we have a couple of spam messages that maybe we should get rid of. I don't know if any of my mods are here. I could make people a mod, I think. Who else do I watch? That's probably the most religious watching I do. Oh, I watch a lot of random commentary channels that I probably don't want to name drop just in case. Like there's ones that I watch that I'm not 100% sure where they are on stuff. And yeah, I probably don't want to name drop them. I watch a lot of Charlie and Ludwig. So those are 2 streamers that originally started on Twitch and I watch them on YouTube. I don't really watch them on Twitch. Ludwig's on YouTube now, but I don't watch his live streams. I watch his edited videos. I watch Hassan's edited stuff on YouTube. I watch Casey since Casey started re-uploading. I'm just going through my subscriptions feed here and my recommended feed. I watch a lot of Film Booth. So Film Booth is a YouTube channel that teaches you how to make better YouTube channels, and it's my favorite version of that. Since the Try Guys drama on YouTube, I've actually started watching a lot of Try Guys content because it started to get recommended to me, and actually I really like it. I didn't think I would like it. I watch an awful lot of Cody Co. I watch a lot of Cut. And I watch a good bit of Smosh as well. I probably dropped off watching as much Smosh, but I went through a phase of watching a lot of Smosh. And then I watch things that really interest me that come up in my recommended. Like, for example, I'm looking through my recommended here, and there's a video that says In Defense of Sarah Lynn, which is a video essay about a character from BoJack Horseman. So I'm going to add that to watch later. So I hope that sort of answers the question. Are you watching the World Cup right now? So if you mean the Rugby World Cup in New Zealand, which is women's rugby, I have not watched a game yet. That is because we were away last weekend. We missed so much rugby last weekend. It was very upsetting. I fully intend to not miss anymore. So yes, I kept up with the results, but I didn't actually watch any of it. I'm a bad person and a bad fan. Okay, so we could go. I tell you what, I'll check in with the chat now before we go to the YouTube community tab, because there's been a lot of questions there in the chat that I've sort of skipped over. So we're going to go back and we're going to have a look. Carbon, I see you there. I might make you a mod if I can, but I'm not 100% sure if I can do that from OBS, to be quite honest with you. So we're going to go back to this page. Let me see. Carbon, can I make you a mod? Add moderator. Yes, I've made you a moderator. I've added Carbon because Carbon moderates over on Twitch, and he is very good at it. And I'm just unhiding a few peep show messages here. The words, like, all these words are fine. Words like bastard, shit, they're all fine for me. They're all fine. Okay, so I should probably have put the chat on my screen, actually. But anyway, so welcome everyone. Somebody at the very start asked, was I wearing a Teddy Fresh hoodie in the like little dance intro I had there while you were waiting for me to go live? That was a Teddy Fresh hoodie, yes. And I'm just having a quick look. People are liking my stream chat rule, which is don't be a dick. That's my favorite. Should make that into merch, actually. Is Alex making toast for us all? He is not. He never makes toast for anyone except for himself. Have you gotten used to your now lightweight hairstyle? I have gotten used to it. It has taken some time, to be honest, Jim. But because it's like that little bit longer, it's a little bit easier to style. I straightened it today, but I do prefer it curly. But I'm also doing this thing where I'm like tucking behind my ear, and I quite like the look of it. Wait till I show you. I quite like the look of it tucked behind my ear, but it won't stay there. So kind of I end up messing with it loads. I ruined it now. Oh well. Oops. What do you have planned to vlog in the future you are most excited about? I have a list of things that I have already recorded and have not yet edited and turned around. This is the problem. Editing takes forever. So, Steam Threshing Festival, Scarecrow Festival, Ploughing Championships, the Rose of Tralee Festival. I went and stayed in a houseboat down in West Cork. I went back to the bus where I stayed in a bus Airbnb and stayed in their new bus. I also went surfing in Kerry. I can't remember the name of the beach. I went to an event recently at a new bar called Tapped with, well, not with some of the Try guys, but I ended up meeting some of the guys from Try channel there. We went to UK at the weekend. I also have done a couple of sponsored or gifted videos that I'm also working on, where I was sent a treadmill for under my desk, which is super cool. And I was sent like this mad mask thing for your face, and I was sent a Cree cut. And so I'm excited to do those because they're really interesting campaigns rather than, you know, kind of trying to... What I'm saying is those brands let me pitch the idea and then they were like, yeah, go for it. And so I'm really excited about those. And then other than that, there is a GamerCon coming up in Ireland, which I will be at. There's an event, a doggy event this week. A gym and coffee doggy event. which is a brand here in Ireland and the UK. And I'm going to go to that. And so, yeah, there's lots to be excited about. Brittany's going to try and catch me on Twitch sometime. Please do. Thank you so much. That would be good crack. Did you or your husband go to the NFL game in London this past weekend? So we didn't go to the NFL game. We were in London, but we didn't go to the NFL game. I was kind of disappointed not to go, but unfortunately, like, it is expensive, and we just, at this point, couldn't really afford it. We were doing other stuff over in the UK. It was like too much of an expense to add on to what we were already doing, to stay an extra day, extra accommodation, and the tickets. The last time that I brought Alex, I bought the tickets, it was years ago, and we're both working full time, but I bought the tickets as a surprise for him. I think it was for his birthday, and it ended up costing me like £400. So it was insane. It wasn't as expensive this time. I heard they were on sale on resale websites for a lot cheaper, but like, obviously I didn't know that. How are things going on over in Ireland? Sure, they're grand. Electricity is expensive. If you use it between, I think it's 6 and 8, it's like much higher tariff. So my dad was texting me to tell me not to be using it between 6 and 8. What else is happening? Gas is pure expensive. So now that we have to use the heat again, I can't wait for that bill. And other than that, it's gotten really dark really quickly. Like, it went from really, like, to be fair, summer lasted way longer. Summer lasted nearly to the end of September. And then last week, September, just straight in. Dark, super dark in the evening, cold, wet, miserable. But look, can't complain. Had one of the longest summers we've ever had and one of the hottest summers. Are you keeping your hair short? Not this short, no. I'm gonna grow it to my shoulders, and then I might get it reshaped, because I not sure how I feel about the back job, you know. I think I kind of want, like, what I really like is, you know, those hairstyles on TikTok where people like have their hair really short, but then it's like sort of like a body wave in the front, like real 80s stuff. I basically want my mother's haircut. Wyland74, thank you for the super chat. Yuvaraj says, ever-growing male audience. Yeah, I mean, that is true. It seems that a lot of people who watch Try Channel are male, and then so it ends up that a lot of the people who end up watching the people who are on Try Channel are male. But I still have a good lady cohort here. Did Alex catch the football game? I think you mean the NFL one. No, we didn't. Where's Alex? He is downstairs watching TV. You might hear Millie bark at some point, because here in Ireland, and this goes to the How's Ireland going on at the moment, actually, question. In Ireland, in October, people start throwing up, like, fireworks around. They start setting off what are called bangers. They're not even real fireworks. They just make a big bang, and screamers, which make a scream. I just realised how literal we are when we name things. But they send the dogs mental, and people have started doing it mid-September this year. Like, it's been so early. So you might hear maybe a bang off in the distance, and then Millie will go nuts if that happens. So that's, if you want to know, just FYI in case it happens, that's what's happening. Carbon, let's boost that thumbs up button. Yes, please, Carbon. Let's see, I answered that one already. Will you be playing rugby this season, and what is the worst thing you've eaten on try? So I've answered the worst thing I've eaten on try. I will be playing tag rugby this season. I've never played contact rugby, and it's never going to happen. I'm 34. I'm not picking up full contact rugby at this age. Are you Bitcoin? Because I want to invest all my money in you, but I'm scared you're going to crash. What? Oh, that's very funny. I'm catching up to the chat now. Is that a large-ish mug, or have I just misunderstood how petite you are? So this mug is from Hairy Baby, which is an Irish company, and they make sort of funny t-shirts and mugs. It It is slightly bigger than normal, but not a huge amount. Like, I would have said it's maybe, an inch higher than normal or thicker more. So it's more of a mug than a cup. And I don't know if that means anything to anyone. But, oh my God, I'm still catching up with the chat, but I think somebody sent a $50 super chat. Didn't have a question, just wanted to send love from the US and thank you for the content. Adventures in Lauren Land. Lauren, I presume your name is. Thank you so much. Thank you. Brianna B had sent 5. I hadn't even spotted that. Greetings from Mallow, County Cork. D-rated by Clisare. Lol, we should address that. Thank you, just before I move on. Thank you so much, Lauren. I really appreciate that. That's amazing. Brianna, I'm delighted to have some Irish ladies. Brianna, watching me. Thank you so much. I did apologise. I don't know if you saw my apology, my short video apology to County Cork. Because a lot of that, I was thinking this the other day that I should really redo that video with a more, I don't know, up to date now that I've seen more counties, but also a more like a less taking the piss approach. I totally was taking the piss when I did that. And I was thinking of all the people I knew in all these counties and what I could say to annoy them. And I also had not really experienced anything bar Cork City. And so I think you'll agree that like Cork City is a different kettle of fish to Cork, to West Cork and the rest of Cork. I'm not 100% sure where Mallow is. Sorry. But I went down last March on an Airbnb excursion down to Cork and I loved it. Kinsale is now my new favourite place. Banladi bus is there, so I went back there recently to stay on their second bus. I can't get over it. Cork is absolutely S tier, which is the top one. Absolutely. Okay. Getting back to what was I saying? I think this is a mug, not a cup, but I think it's a standard size mug. Does that make sense? Hopefully you understand that. Put some Jameson in it. Oh, I should have. I'm disabled, paralysed from the neck down. Watching you and the others help through the days. Thank you. Jared, thank you so much. That is a really nice thing to know. And yeah, I thank you for watching more so than anything. And yet you're from Mayo. I don't know what that's in reference to, but hell yeah, I just wanted to remind everyone. Hello, Slava Tyan. Do you like Gaelic folk song, Irish and or Scottish? I do like Gaelic folk songs. I don't call them Gaelic folk songs, personally. But yeah, traditional Celtic music or traditional Irish songs is more how I'd phrase it. Big fan of them. My favourite one would be Cheer na Nog. I'd know it off by heart. I'm not going to sing it for you though, because I can't really sing. I can sing traditional Irish songs better than I can sing popular English songs, because there's a very specific way to sing it, and you don't necessarily have to be a good singer. You kind of just have to be a good storyteller. But yeah, I'm probably not going to do that. Maybe I'll do a video someday with some auto-tune on it or something. Yeah. Is there anyone triers you miss seeing? Oh, hello, Sharonda. How are you? I've seen you loads in my comments and around the place, and I think in the Try Channel Facebook page. Am I right? Anyway, is there any triers that I miss seeing? I'm trying to think. Are there any triers that I don't see? I don't think there are. I see Dermot fairly regularly. I see Ciara fairly regularly. I see Kelly behind the camera fairly regularly. As in, she works behind the camera. I see Colin and Sean fairly regularly. And I would see everybody else every time there would be, well, I say every time there'd be a party, and I didn't get to go to the last one. I didn't go to Christmas one either. But I'm hoping to go to the next one and see everyone. It's really good crack when everybody gets in a big gang together. And actually, when I accidentally met out a couple of the gang from Try last week at that event, it was wild crack. I'm just going to check the super chats here. Jim says, I think I understand now. Thank you so much for that super chat, Jim. I think that is Canadian money. So thank you so much for that. Totem Falls Over said, can you pick out Arizona if you are drunk on a map? I can't pick out Arizona on a map if I'm not drunk. That's not a joke. I can't. If it's not written on it, like people really slag me off for this, but genuinely it's so hard to tell where things are on a map if there's no labels on it. Alex, a lot of people have been requesting that I do a follow-up to a video I did with Alex years ago where we took all the names off a map and he got me to point out what countries were where, and he just pissed himself laughing for 40 minutes. So I think we're going to do another one of them. I was going to do it with an Irish map, but maybe I should do it an American map, although I won't be able to pick, I won't be able to get a single one. I won't get a single one right if I do it an American map, because I don't know where all the states are. I have no idea. I wouldn't even know what end. California's up here. Do you know what I mean? I think I'd be so wrong. I could try it, but I just don't know if it'd be entertaining to get every single one wrong, would it? Your hair making looks like a teen. Thank you so much. Well, no, thank you. Yeah. I'm fine with being told I look younger than I am. I know that it's a societal expectation and I should be happy to be aging, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, thanks for the compliment. I have some Irish in me, but I live in Los Angeles. If I do visit Ireland, what are some things I should go see? So I think that there's a lot of things you should go see that are traditionally touristy. And when I first started the Irish Bucket List, which is my series where I travel around Ireland doing all of the cool things to do, my aim was to skip the most obvious touristy stuff. And as I've gotten older, I've realised that that's kind of not silly, but maybe it's kind of missing the point. I quite like the fact that I find these really cool things like Father Ted's house and stuff like that off the beaten track a little bit. And I think that is the USP, the unique selling point of the series. However, I do think you're missing a trick to not go to the Guinness Storehouse. Do you know? And I remember I had an American friend visit me years and years ago, and I didn't bring her to the American Storehouse, to the Guinness Storehouse, because I was like, oh, it's so twee. I've done it a million times. It's just you have a pint of Guinness in a bar at the top of Dublin, it's whatever. And in retrospect, I think that was a mistake. I brought her on the Viking Splash tour, and I brought her on a couple of other things that were off the beaten track, and I thought this would be really, really cool now. Brought her up to Johnny Fox's. We went to a dinner that had a dinner and a show, and there was a traditional Irish music show, and I think they were Irish dancing, if I can remember correctly. And to be fair, that was epic. And even I thought it was brilliant. And actually, now that I think of it, I must go to one of those again. But I kind of think I missed a trick not bringing her to the Guinness Storehouse. So I think if you're going to come to Ireland, you have to go to the Guinness Storehouse. You really, really do. It's the number one tourist attraction in Ireland. You learn a bit about Guinness, which I think is boring, but you might not think is boring. And then you get to go to the top. It's called a Sky Bar up at the top, and it is a completely glass bar, and you can see all of Dublin. And that also is the only place you can do that, as far as I'm aware. So, yeah, Guinness Storehouse. And I want to go to the Guinness Storehouse as part of my series to show you guys as well. And I've been meaning to reach out to them and see would they let me in to film. But that is one thing you should definitely go see. I do think you should see all the touristy stuff. The Blarney Stone, okay, whatever, that's fine. But the Giant's Causeway is something you should see. Downpatrick Head in Mayo is a real beautiful natural thing that I don't know if you'd find anywhere else. It's a sea stack, and then it's also got this bouncy grass. It's crazy. So I'd go to see that. The Cliffs of Moher are always worth a look. The Allowee Caves, all that touristy stuff is all worth a look. So I would say go to that. Newgrange to learn about the history. All of these things are tourist hotspots for a reason, because they're actually quite good. And I would add to that one thing off the beaten track you should do is the whiskey museum tour. And you should do the tour where they allow you to mix your own whiskey at the end. Cannot recommend enough. And that's the whiskey museum tour, not a branded tour, which you can also do. You can do all the different brands around Dublin have their own tours of their own factories. But the whiskey museum teaches you some of the like really crazy history of whiskey in this country and poaching, and some of it is like shocking and harrowing and hilarious. So do I know any Hurleys in Ireland? Name wise, no. Implement used for hurling wise, also no. Do you know the books of Terry Pratchett? Why does that name ring a bell? I don't think that I do. What part of Ireland am I from? I'm from Mayo. I currently live in Dublin. The Signal app has a notes to self chat function, which I love. Yeah, so I was talking about the similar thing on WhatsApp. I didn't jump to Signal. I don't believe it's any more encrypted than WhatsApp. I also don't care. Steel City, someone is Saladin from Twitch. Steel City, is that you? Hello. I am hoping that the Try channel will someday try Canadian beer. I'm curious what you will all think of it. So I would love to do that. And I would assume that the reason that they haven't done that yet is that it's actually quite difficult to get beers into Ireland from other countries when you're ordering it in. Like, it's probably, some things are easier to be sent as gifts. But like, some things are almost impossible to order. Like, for example, one of my favourite beers of all time is Pure Blonde from Australia. And I just can't have it here because I cannot order it. It's just not possible. Especially because it comes in a glass bottle. I just can't get it. Oh, but by God, if I ever went to Australia again, it's the first thing I'd drink. Do you know, like, Discworld? No, I don't know what Discworld is. What is your favourite book? So, my favourite books are all over here. Here. And here. So on the closer to me is the Irish, they used to call it the Irish version of Harry Potter, but it's way better than that. It's a series called Artemis Fowl. It's by Owen Colfer. Owen Colfer also had a book when I was growing up. God, I can't remember the name of it, but it was about two young lads, I think Benji and something. Oh God, I can't remember it. Anyway, somebody in the chat will remind me. But he started this series. It's about Artemis Fowl, this like genius who wants to get involved in the fairy world because he thinks the fairies have loads of money and he can steal it all. And it's just a really, really good series. And I've been meaning to start it again from scratch. Loved it. Oh, Millie's trying to get in. No, Alex is actually going to bed. I've been meaning to try it again. Or to read it again from scratch. So that's my one of my favourite series. My other favourite series is a trilogy. It's the His Dark Materials trilogy by Philip Pullman. I read it when I was way too young to read it, and it absolutely broke me. And now, now I've just finished reading. I'm rereading it, and I've just finished the second one, and I need to get the third one in audiobook. And then I have the brand new follow-up ready to read there. Problem is I just don't have time to sit down and read, so audiobooks are better for me. This one over here, this shelf over here, has a mixture of stuff that I was like bought for Christmas. What else? And it's also got the series that I love, or that I used to love, that, you know, that the author shall not be named, but it's Harry Potter. I used to love Harry Potter. I still love Harry Potter. I just don't want to talk about the author of it. Harvey Dick, thank you so much for sending $50 super chat. Greetings from Charleston, South Carolina. Your hair lets your face shine. It's very attractive. Thank you so much. I can't help being a dick. It's in my name. Because the channel rules are don't be a dick. That's fair enough. Yeah. Any Halloween music? Oh, because I was asking, did you want me to play music? Tips on learning Gaelic. So we don't call it Gaelic, first of all. We call it Irish. And if you were the English language word for our Irish language is Irish. The Irish language word for Irish is Gaelga, not Gaelic. Gaelic is a word used to describe a number of languages, including and most often in reference to Scotland and Wales. Irish would be considered a Gaelic language, but we don't call it Gaelic. It's Gaelga or Irish. So that'd be the first tip. And then the second tip would be, I did an Irish language class with Gael culture. And so I would check that out. I have a video on it. It's called I Took an Irish Language Test, I think it's called. And there's a link down there to online classes that you can do with Gael culture. And I thought they were brilliant. They were very affordable. And it really helped me. It was, you're meeting once a week, you're conversing with people. If you're in Ireland, you can do in-person classes. And so that'd be my biggest tip there, because I do think the classes are better than things like Duolingo. Not saying that Duolingo isn't good. Duolingo is also great if you want to use something like that. But to actually conversationally use the Irish. Also, practice, use. And that's the biggest thing that I don't do, is I don't use it enough. I really want to go to some of these pop-up Gaeltachts. We have pop-up Gaeltachts, which are places, pubs in Dublin that for one night only would be Irish language speaking. And so I'm really looking forward to going to some of those and giving myself an opportunity to practice my Irish. I think that I allow the fact that I don't really have a circle of friends who speak Irish to hold me back a little bit. And I really want to stop doing that. Like Alex doesn't speak Irish, my close friends don't speak Irish, my home friends don't speak Irish. So I need to either find myself a posse of people who speak Irish, or I need to grow a pair, essentially, and go out and go to a pub by myself and just start talking to people. What are the collectibles that light up on the shelves? So this, I cannot remember the name of that. I'll tell you what, I'll put it in the description when I remember. But this one over here, it's very hard to figure out where you're supposed to be pointing when the camera's backwards, but this one here is a Twinkly, they're called. And I got it on Amazon. Did you see Dairy Girls on Netflix yet? Yeah, John, Dairy Girls was on television before it was on Netflix. Yeah, I saw it on television when it aired here. I loved it. Won't hear a bad word against it. I think it was one of the best, if not the best, Irish TV show ever. Like, I genuinely think it is up there with Father Ted. Like, it was so good, so clever, so funny, and yet so real to what was happening at the time, but like not in a depressing way. It was great, really good. Ending was brilliant. Loved it. Would you recommend somebody with an Irish walker to move back to Ireland? Sure. Like, well, I guess it would depend where you've been living, what you've been doing, what you're at, what you want to be at. But sure, like, although if your Irish Maher has been living, and Maher means mother, if anyone's wondering, if your Irish Maher has been living abroad all her life, then I don't know, maybe not. Like, I don't know, it's totally up to you. I personally wouldn't want to move away from a country where I have all my family forever. I know you play rugby. This is Mr. Mallon 8, but do you play any other sports prior in addition to rugby, camogie, Gaelic football, etc.? I tried Gaelic football when I was younger, couldn't get a hang of the rules, couldn't figure out how it worked, gave up. I did gymnastics for a couple of years, got to a point where I couldn't do the stuff because I have, for whatever reason, I couldn't do splits, and I don't know whether I have like tight knee muscles behind or whether I my form wasn't right or whatever it was, and I ended up quitting gymnastics because they were like, if you can't do this, you're not going to be able to progress. They were kind of pushing me down into the splits, and it was really hurting me, and so I quit gymnastics. I did basketball for 3 years in Mayo. I've been actually meaning to write an article for Medium about this because I just think it's so weird in retrospect how North Mayo got really into basketball in the like 2000s, and like we had like retired or almost retired like really amazing basketballers flying over from America to like finish out their careers in Ireland and like North Mayo. And so I played basketball for 3 years, which I know you won't believe because I'm only 5 foot nothing. But when I say played, I warmed the bench for 3 years. I didn't get a single, and I mean single minute of game time. Not a single minute of game time. And I remember being thick about it. And my teacher being like, are you going to play again next year? And I was like, if you promise you'll play me. And she was like, I can't promise that. And I was like, then no thanks. It's like, so yeah, I quit that. So I never found my sport until I found non-contact rugby. Why would you cut your hair before winter? Long hair would be better. Because I don't time my haircuts around winter and summer. And because I had to get to 14 inches in order to be able to donate my hair. So I got to 14 inches when I got to 14 inches, if that makes sense. I really needed that hair to go. It was so long. It was really annoying me. In Try Channel, which one of the boys is Kelly dating? So Kelly, who runs the Try Channel and owns it with Sean, and Colin goes out with Colin. So Colin is also in front of and behind the camera. So yeah, they've been going out a very, very long time. A lot of you singing the praises of Peep Show and of Better Call Saul after I said that, which is great. Do you have a husband? Yes, I do. I love your username, Unicorn Art. Yes, I have a husband. His name is Alex. He is the real star of this channel, apparently. He doesn't make me toast when he makes himself toast. And that's all I have to say about that. Grey One. Is that how you pronounce that? Oh, Halliha. If you like Drew Gooden, you should give Danny Gonzalez a go. I also watch a little bit of Danny Gonzalez. I don't watch a huge amount of Danny. Bit lame to do a YouTube live and not use YouTube for questions. Oh, it jumped. I am using YouTube for questions now. I'm just catching up still. And I need to still go back to the YouTube community page. I was just getting the other platforms out of the way. I've totally lost my place in this chat now. Flippity flip. Okay, let's. Okay, so just checking a super chat here. Is it true there's no roaches in Ireland? Thank the fucking Lord. It is true. Delighted. If I were to join your Patreon, would it be offensive or inappropriate to ask your help for a name translation? It would neither be offensive or inappropriate, but I probably wouldn't do it if you're talking about a tattoo. Sorry, and that's just where my mind immediately went because loads of people ask me this. I don't translate things for people to get tattooed on themselves. I could absolutely help you try and translate your name, but it would have to be under the understanding that I may not necessarily be right, because some names also don't translate. Like some American names stay the same and stuff like that. But I could do my best to help you translate it. But not if you're going to get it tattooed on yourself, because I really just don't want people tattooing something wrong on themselves because of me. And I just cannot hack it. Nancy, thank you for the super chat. Hola, gorgeous. Hey, Alex. I'll tell Alex he said hello. Thank you so much. And thanks so much for coming. Gorgeous. Jason wants to know, does the carpet match the drapes? Well, considering my hair is my natural hair colour, then yeah, obviously it does. Claire, go tell your husband that he's the luckiest man on the planet. He doesn't know. I will have to tell him. Way Up Dude wants to know, do you all still have trouble with the IRA? And I was not going to answer this, but then I want to answer it because loads of people ask me about the North, about Northern Ireland and the troubles and all that sort of stuff. And I was was like 11, I think. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know the details. Now, I will say that my dad was a teacher living on Falls Road during the Troubles. And I have asked him several times if he'll come on the podcast and tell that story and share his experience, but he's just not interested. That's just not something that he wants to do. I also did ask if he might write a book. He also said no. But I do think it would be a good idea. And so, yeah, look, I don't know the details. We did, and this was covered in Dairy Girls if you want to watch it. But there was a peace process. There was a peace agreement. There, you know, the IRA decommissioned their weapons. And no, there are, like, touch wood, as far as I'm aware, no IRA activities at the minute that we're aware of. I know that they were very concerned that Brexit would reignite tensions. I think it's okay, but there were some kind of protests and things going on. Oh, Mill, do you mind? Alex, can you close the door? Thank you. You can leave her. You don't have to leave her. But yeah, listen, I'm not an expert on that, and I really don't want to talk about it. And when people keep asking me, like, about the North, I just feel like you're I just feel like it's kind of going to get me in trouble. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to say the wrong thing. I don't know enough to be talking about it. I think it would be good for you to check out some of the tour stuff and report what's worth the dime and time or save your time and money. That's a good idea, Danny, actually. Rate the Connacht counties. So I'm not going to be doing that because, not right now, because I wouldn't be able to tell off the top of my head who's in Connacht and who's not. But I might do that some other time. That's a good idea. Could do that I could make it like shorts. I could rate the counties in each of the provinces for YouTube shorts or for Instagram reels and like really get people angry. Will you be doing any more Airbnbs soon? Those were good. Yes, so I have 2 in the works. I stayed in a houseboat and I stayed in another... Oh, I have 3, actually. I stayed in a houseboat and I stayed in the second brand new, like even fancier bus down in Cork. And I stayed in a caravan, like I Airbnb'd a caravan. And that one was class. So yes, I did. That was when I went to the Rose of Tralee. So I do have 3 coming out. Adventures in Laurenland. You love Artemis Fowl as well, but the movie was trash. I don't think I knew there was a film, but I'm glad you told me that because I'm just going to stay away from it. But there's a TV show though that's really good. The Northern Lights. Is that what it's called? And actually, that reminds me, we have only watched the first 2 series. I need to check when the 3rd is out or if it's out or if we missed it. His Dark Materials, that's what it's called, Linda. Thank you. What was for you the drive to become a YouTuber, and do you consider yourself as such? Yes. Brian, thank you very much. I do consider myself a YouTuber. I consider myself a YouTuber first and foremost. When I'm trying to explain to people, and this happened to me at the weekend, people are like, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, I'm a content creator. They don't take that answer ever. They're like, what kind of content? And I'm like, oh, like video. And then they go, who do you make video for? And so it never, like, I always have to go, oh, for like my own stuff. And it eventually gets to the point where they'll go, are you like a blogger? And a blogger, I'll just say yes. But if they go, are you an influencer? I'll go, no, I'm not an influencer. And then I sort of have to explain, I'm a YouTuber, this and the other. Like, I consider myself a YouTuber first and foremost. I don't think a YouTuber is like a readily accepted job title here, but maybe anywhere. So it requires a lot of explaining. And sometimes if I don't feel like explaining it, I just say, sometimes I used to say I'm freelance, but then they go, freelance what? So I just either go, I'm a videographer, or I go, I'm a freelance journalist, or something like that. And I say something like just that they'll know what it is, so I don't have to answer any further questions. But I do consider myself, first and foremost, a YouTuber, and then a streamer, then second of all, and then like an Instagram or TikToker after that. The drive for me to become a YouTuber was that I finished journalism school, and I was always, going to be a journalist. So that's creating content, realistically. You're writing, and I had specialized in video and, was it video, print and TV actually. So everybody had to do print in my course, and you either picked radio or television. I picked television. So I had like experience creating video packages. And so I was always going to end up really doing video journalism. And then when I finished college, Ireland was in a recession. I couldn't find a job. And so I ended up watching a lot of YouTube, and I watched a lot of Jenna Marbles. And I think I've told this story before, but like that really inspired me to create videos. Especially because I thought she was really funny. She was the first kind of comedian lady I saw doing stuff on the internet. And that's what inspired me. And I just started making videos. She made videos just using her laptop. So I was like, I don't need any fancy equipment. I can also do this. So I did. And it just sort of grew from there. Let's see. Rick Scott, I noticed on the Try channel how many different dialects there are. How does one figure out where your Try friends are from? Well, I figure out where they're from by asking them. No, I figure out where they're from. Some of them I can just tell by their accent, and then some of them I have to ask. There are lots of accents in Ireland. Every county has a different accent. Some parts of different counties have different accents again. And there are lots of places in Ireland where the accent is not immediately recognisable as being from that place. Like, you'd immediately know a Donegal person by their accent. You might have an idea of a Mayo person from their accent. You would definitely know North Side and South Side Dublin people from their accents, and you would definitely know a Cork person or a Kerry person from their accent. But you might not know somebody from Longford necessarily, but from their accent, or a Laois or a Carlow or somewhere with a slightly more Midlands neutral accent. So yeah, I either can tell immediately from their accent or I have to ask. I'm BN Benitons. I must ask again just in case you missed it, Barry's or Lions. So I'm from Mayo originally, and everyone from Mayo drinks Barry's. But I didn't drink tea when I was growing up because my mum didn't like tea. And I only lived with my mum. And so I only started drinking tea when I met Alex, who drinks an insane amount of tea a day. Because Alex is a Jackeen, which means a person from Dublin. He drinks Lions. So I now drink Lions. So I am like the black sheep of my friends back home, because I drink the pale tea, the pale being Dublin. I drink the Dublin tea. And like, a lot of people think Dubliners are, I don't know, full of notions, I suppose. I've heard the term West Brit thrown around a bit. And so, yeah, the country people think that Barry's is better, and Dublin people think Lions is better, and I have accidentally got myself on the Dublin side of that argument. Will we be treated to a Vlogmas this year? You will, Danny. I will be doing a Vlogmas. I love doing Vlogmas. I think Vlogmas is where I vlog every day in December, in case anybody doesn't know. And I've been doing it for about 5 or 6 years now, so I'm definitely going to keep it going. I absolutely love doing it. And yeah, I'm definitely going to do it. I do, by the end of it, hate it. But then I have an 11-month break. So by the time comes around to start again, I'm mad keen to do it. Richard Leatherman, nice hoodie. Thank you, Richard. It's in my merch shop. Link is down in bio, and it also is clisare.rocks/merch. Who is your favourite on the Try channel? Well, I think it's obvious that my favourite on the Try channel is Dermot. I love Dermot. Kelly and I, my nose is so crooked. Kelly and I are good friends from before Try. So I should probably actually say her. But if you're talking about specifically person who I met through being on a channel that reacts to stuff, that would be Dermot. And he's my favourite person to be paired with as well. Did you yourself and Alex ever sort out the Duvet dilemma? So this was years ago when we were in, or not, I think 1 or 2 years ago when we were in COVID lockdown, and we had a blue and white duvet and we kept flipping it because he wanted it white side up. Like, sorry, but that's not normal. And I wanted it blue side up. And we still have that duvet. We still have that fight every time. And I win now that I'm not putting it on the internet because he doesn't care enough to keep it up when he's not getting attention for it. I have definitely lost my place in this chat again. By the way, with respect to accents, tell the Try Gang when attempting a Texas accent, quit slipping into foghorn, leghorn, cartoon character. We do not sound remotely like that. No, because that's part of the fun. I'm from Texas, y'all. Like, it's part of the fun to do that. I really love myself and Dermot's running joke in Try, where we pretend that we genuinely believe we're doing an American accent, and instead we do like a German accent or a Russian accent or a Scottish accent or something. I love that joke, and I love that people don't get it. Like, there are so many people that genuinely tune in and are like, what the fuck, they really think there's nothing like a Californian accent. And I love that joke so much. I was curious if you saw Everything Everywhere All at Once. Is that a TV? That feels familiar. Is that a TV show or a movie? I have not seen it, whatever it is. Bonnie, are you going to film Alex in the shower again during Vlogmas? I am not. For those of you that don't know, I accidentally caught my husband in the background of a shot. I didn't realise the ensuite door was open. He was in the shower. Luckily, it was a blurry shot. He had his back to the camera. You couldn't see anything, but still, it was not cool. And I didn't notice it when I was editing it, and he didn't even notice it when he was watching the video. And then someone commented it, and I immediately took the video down and re-uploaded it. And I feel really bad about that. He wasn't mad about it, but I feel really bad about it because it was I did not mean to do that. Danny, Dermot and yourself have the whole big brother little sister vibe going on, which always leads to laugh. Well, loads of people think we have sibling energy or we're having an affair. There's no in between. And so actually when we met him out, myself and Alex, at that event recently, which you'll see the vlog of soon, I kept going, my husband meets my boyfriend. And I was like, or my real life husband meets my Try husband. We were bananas. You think you will make it back to the States anytime soon? I would love to. I really wanted to go to TwitchCon. I suppose I'm kind of glad I didn't now. But because it seems to have been a bit wild. But I really wanted to go. There's lots of conventions, obviously VidCon, TwitchCon, that I'd love to go to. There's lots of different places in America that I would love to go to just in general. I've always wanted to go to Hawaii. But just at the moment, financially, sort of out of my reach to be going to America. If the Try channel decide to go to America, I will literally bite my own arm off to get in first. Bite someone else's arm off. And hop over people to get on that trip. I would love, love, love to go if the Try channel were going. Cén fá nach déanann tú tuile fí seán as Gaeilge. Hello, Jigwich Gael Gorkons Tatu. So that question means it's in Irish, and it means why do you not do as many, I think, videos in Irish? I do videos in Irish. People keep asking me this. I do videos in Irish. People are always like, you don't do videos in Irish anymore? I'm like, the last one was literally 3 months ago. I don't do them as regularly because I don't really, I'll eventually run out of ideas. I do them sparingly. But I do videos. I do videos about Irish still. So they're in a playlist on my channel, and you should be able to find them if you just go to the channel page. It's the third playlist down, Irish language videos. I am also planning a couple of Irish videos I'm really excited about, are videos about and in the Irish language, but they require a little bit of organisation, so I'm trying to figure that out. Trying to find more questions. What's your favourite British accent? What a strange question, Sarah, but I'm going to answer it anyway. Probably one of the Geordie ones, like one of the like Geordie Shore in it. I can't do them. You know what I mean? One of the really sort of partying ones, which is a super stereotype, but anyway. Come to Boston. I would love to go to Boston. That is one of the places I would love to go to. Carbon, thank you for asking everyone to thumbs up the video. Please do that. I just want to say super chats here. Harvey Dick again. Thank you so much, Harvey. Another $50. You're mad. Really enjoy Airbnb vlogs. Hell yeah. That's so good to hear because I love making them. And I worry that they're maybe not as popular as other videos on the channel, but I love to hear that you like them. Yes. Have you ever seen a UFO in Ireland? Would you believe, Michael? I haven't. What other questions do we have? I've caught up now. What is about tag that drew you into it? So if anyone doesn't know what he means there, he means Matty means tag rugby, which is a non-contact form of rugby, which is where instead of tackling people, you pull tags off them. It's like flag football. If anybody knows what flag football is, it's flag rugby essentially. What was it about tag that drew you into it? Alex played it, and he played it a lot, and I never saw him, and I was like, I want to spend more time with you, so let me into this part of your life, because you know he was also playing full contact rugby. So when he wasn't playing full contact rugby, he was playing non-contact rugby. And I was like, just let me, I'm not going to play full contact. I'm not interested in watching you either. So let me into this. And then I ended up really loving it. It took me a while to get into it. I suppose I got into it straight away actually, but it took me a while to like really understand the game, if that makes sense. To the point where I could be cynical. But now I love it. Now I'm absolutely obsessed with it, and arguably more obsessed with it than him. Sorry, my throat's very sore. Alex gave me a sore throat, the bastard. What dialect do you speak mostly? So, Kevin, if you mean the Irish language, I would have grown up speaking Connacht Irish because I'm from Mayo, which is in Connacht. Excuse me. I might have to have a strepsil here. This cough gets way worse at night. I think it's because I have exercise-induced asthma, but sometimes when the doctor told me that when you're sick, that can flare it up. Because I got diagnosed with it for the first time when I had a chest infection. And he was like, what you're describing to me is asthma worsened by a chest issue. Excuse me. Oh, it gets way worse at night for some reason. So I grew up speaking Connacht Irish. I would now speak probably Leinster Irish, which would be the least flavourful of the dialects in my opinion. With most sort of bland, closest to English, you know. Oh, this is great for a live stream. Having a cough attack, that's great. Who was your favourite guest on the Truth or Drink series? Well, to date, I think the best video that came out of it was the one with Kira. However, Truth or Drink series is something that I want to get back to and get more triers on as well. Alex asks, are you going to answer my train question? Alex, I missed your train question, but I'm sure, I bet you a tenner the train, that's my Alex by the way, I bet the train question is, if a train leaves station A, fuck off. About 30 seconds later you'll hear him laugh now. Because it's about 30 seconds behind. Have you ever done the drink roulette videos on Try? Yes, I've done 2, I believe. And after the very first one I ever did, I genuinely tried to start a fucking argument with somebody in a chipper. I was out of my mind. I don't think I've ever been so drunk. And never again. Like, I was actually thinking about this the other day and I was like, I might ask them not to put me in any more drink roulette videos. Because I can't handle it. Did Alex go to the Green Bay? Oh, I've answered that one already. If an American wants to come and live in Ireland, is it good? Sure. And where would it be a good place to live for an American to come and live and work there? Well, Christopher, what is happening? Jesus. I don't know why I just suddenly got a cough attack. Anyway. So, it's hard to, like, say Ireland is good and that you should come and live here to somebody that, like, I don't know. I don't know your background. I don't know what you like, what you don't like. I don't know if Ireland is going to suit you. There are lots of people here that complain about Ireland all the time. There was a viral TikTok. Somebody wrote this, like, kind of slam poem about how she wishes that she could love Ireland, but it has all these things wrong with it. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like every place has its positives and its negatives. And one negative is that it's really hard to find accommodation at the minute. I know a lot of my friends have had to move out of Dublin. And Dublin would be the place I would be recommending for an American to come, because that is the place with the most jobs. And it's also the place with the most Americans. And you could probably get a job in like Google or Facebook or Twitter with a lot of people from either America or from outside Ireland and like big multicultural companies. Whereas, I mean, if that kind of job thing suited you, maybe you could go to Galway or you could go to Cork for like a more rural Ireland experience, but still at a place where there would be a hub of jobs. But it's a really hard question to answer. I guess I think it's good. In fact, I love it and I never want to leave it. And I hope that helps. I guess I can't definitively say whether it would be for you or not, I guess. Oh, I've lost my... Have you ever been to Canada? I have been to Canada once. I've been to Canada for 8 hours. It was a stopover. And I went to visit my friend Orna, who was also my bridesmaid. She's in my wedding video, which got taken down, actually. That reminds me. I need to get that put back up. Got taken down because the music used in it. How rude. Anyway. So, I went to visit her on a stopover on my way back from the year that I lived abroad. And so, yeah, I've been in Toronto, I think it was, for 8 hours, and that's it. But I'd love to go back again. What's your favourite Irish accent? So, I think my favourite Irish accent is... It changes all the time. But I know that growing up, like, I used to think... Back when I was a single lady, I used to think the northern accent was the hottest. But I like a Mayo accent now as well. How drunk does everyone really get on the Try channel? Like, as drunk as you see. Well, actually, that's not true. We get way drunker than that. Because what happens is, especially if you're in a drink roulette video, you do the drink roulette. You have however many shots are on the thing in front of you, which is, like, insane. And then you're bananas by the end of the shoot. But then the shoot ends and you go home. And, like, as soon as you go outside and stuff, and, like, another hour or two passes, more of the alcohol hits you. And then you are absolutely just bananas. So we get both as drunk as you see and sometimes way drunker. So Alex said he sent me the train question on Instagram, right? So that has actually reminded me that I haven't yet checked the Instagram question. So we're going to have to do that because people did ask me stuff on Instagram. I'm going to just try and catch up to the chat before I do that. What's a spice bag? So a spice bag is a Irish delicacy, and you get them in Chinese restaurants. It's a bag of chips with chicken and peppers and onions, and it's really spicy. It's yeah, that's what it is, and we love it. Alex, did you buy a cough bottle today? Alex, there's a cough bottle in the fridge that I have been drinking. Do you think the Try channel will run out of things to try soon? No. Because not only, I don't know if you noticed, but they did like a new type of video recently, which is where we were reading Reddit threads. But so not only is there like so many foods still left in the world that we obviously haven't tried, but if they're expanding out their content like that, then obviously it's endless, the possibility. Do you know what I mean? So no, I don't ever think they're going to run out of ideas, and I don't ever think they're going to run out of things to taste if they just want to stick to taste testing, because the world is huge. Some people might not be interested in different things, but I don't think they're ever going to run out of stuff. Okay, so let's hop over to Instagram. I'm going to keep checking in with the YouTube chat, but I do need to answer some of the questions from Instagram because people went to all the trouble of sending them. So let's see. So any more videos off Gaelic coming? Yes, I have a couple in the works. I'll just tell you what it is. I have a video on my channel called Can Irish People Speak Irish? And it was where I went out into Grafton Street in Dublin, and I asked people could they speak Irish, and I just wanted to get like a sentence or two from all of them. And then that video gets mad search traffic. And so a lot of people have criticised how it was made or whatever else, because it was made years and years ago. And I feel like I could redo that video now a lot better. And actually I want to do it county by county. So I want to go to every county and find if people can speak Irish in that county. Similar to the way I've done the videos of can people in Northern Ireland speak Irish, can people in America speak Irish. Okay, so I found this train question from Alex. It's not funny. Like, this is the most annoying thing that you do. If a train leaves station A at 2 p.m. GMT, travelling at 317 kilometers per hour, and another train leaves station B 5,000 kilometers away, travelling directly towards station A on the same track at 415 kilometers per hour, leaving at 3 p.m, what exact time will the trains crash? I don't care. Fuck's sake. There's a lot of questions about my hair that I've already answered. Has Alex warmed up to your short hair? He said it was okay. That was quite the compliment to come from him, frankly. Any university degrees between you? Oh, between myself and Alex. Yes, Alex and I both have university degrees. That felt like that was shade. But we both have university degrees. I, in fact, started a master's and then left it because my mother was sick. But we both have degrees. Different things. Mine is journalism with Irish. Can you do a video about Irish railways? I can. I definitely can. What do you want that video to be about? I can absolutely do it. I just don't 100%. Like, is it about how to use them or the history of them? Or because there is both of those things could be made a video about. If you could go back and tell yourself when you started YouTube one thing, what would it be and why? Probably just keep going. I did give up there for a while. But then again, when I came back, I was more interested in it. And I don't know what I would say, to be honest. Because every job that I've had alongside of it and every break that I've taken has helped me get to where I am. So I don't know. They could also change the name to Retry Channel and do repeats. That's very funny. Michael McIntosh. Do you know Colin Farrell? I know of Colin Farrell, and I've met Colin Farrell because I interviewed him once when I was a journalist. He's my cousin, so is Bono. Okay. Matty OG. Yeah, Rhett and Link have been tasting new things for 10 years. Exactly. And like the Try guys do try stuff and eat stuff. And like loads, it's not a new idea. Do you know what I mean? Loads of channels are doing it and they're still able to continue doing it. So I don't think anyone will ever run out of ideas. And also, they're inventing new stuff all the time, surely. Although, if they wanted to do repeats, that'd be great. Because I would really like to do the sushi video. I previously, I think, produced a sushi video. And I would like to be in one where I get 6 different types of free sushi. Danny, I'd love to see them redo some of the trying things they did on a different channel. They were great, but I refused to watch them due to how that whole thing went down. You're a real one, Danny. Yes, that would be great. That's exactly what I was saying. I'd love to do the sushi video again. The experience of riding the train. Oh, okay. I could do a video about that. I could do a short video about that, no problem. How about ancient Irish history? See, some of these videos are like video ideas. I'm never sure if anybody would be interested in watching them or if I'd be the right person to do them either, because what if I do an ancient Irish history video and I get it wrong and then everyone's like, you're an idiot? Or what if no one gives a fuck about it? No one clicks it. So I don't know. I do think they're good ideas. I don't know if it would work with me. Who is the funniest between you and your husband? That's a hard one. I think he's probably the more naturally funny and sharp. Whereas I'd be more of like a stand-up. Do you know what I mean? His comedy just sort of comes to him naturally. And he'd be really funny with the things he comes out with. And whereas I'm good at like stand-up, if that makes sense. So it's two totally different types of comedy. Sinead helping. Welcome, Sinead. Love the new hair. Would you be tempted to change the colour? So I have been tempted to change the colour because it's so short. I'm like, I could dye it. But then I'm like, no, I spent 3 years growing it out. I'm going to keep it. So for now, I'm sitting on my hands and not letting myself dye it. A video of you and Alex taking turns going alone to a haunted house would be so fun for Halloween. I would love to do a scary haunted house video, and I would particularly love to do it with Alex, but Alex would never. You and your Tri-Channel colleagues should come to New Mexico next October and see the International Balloon Fiesta. I would love to. Could you redo a try video though? Would it work if you knew what you're in for? Well, you would redo the try video with different people that were in it the first time. You could absolutely do that. How long has it been since you gave up your day job? Is it a huge struggle or is it comfortable enough money-wise? I left my day job officially in September 2020. So, this is it. I just went 2 years there that I have been fully independent, out on my own, strong independent woman that don't need no salary. And I have managed, definitely. I have, in the first year, I probably did slightly better than expected because I expected that one to be really, really tough. And then this year, down a bit, but I can still, I'm still happy enough. Put it this way, I can't go to America on holidays like everyone wants me to, but I can go to the odd Airbnb for a video, so it's okay. It is my first time getting properly taxed, because we pay a tax year behind and it's now tax season, and that was rough because I didn't really understand how it worked. And the way the Irish tax system works for self-employed people, I still can't get my head around it. But that's rough. It's gonna be a Christmas. But it'll be fine, because peaks and troughs. This is what happens with being self-employed. Sometimes it goes down and sometimes it goes back up. So eventually it will go back up. Be all good. What else? Do a ghost tour for Samhain. I really want to do a ghost tour, and I really want to do a haunted house. I was trying to get in touch with Loftus Hall, which is meant to be Ireland's most haunted house, but I don't think you can stay there. I don't think you can book in there. What would you think about doing a video on ghost stories of Ireland for Halloween? I would love to do that, but I don't know any Irish ghost stories. I would have to find some. So I will look that up. I'm actually going to text that to the WhatsApp group I mentioned before, where I text my ideas to myself. What was it, did you say? Ghost stories of Ireland. I'd have to look them up. Ghost stories of Ireland. Irish ghost stories, basically. I'd have to look those up. Are you worried about the cost of living going up in Ireland with electricity costs on the rise? So worried. What I really don't need right now is for the cost of living to go up any further than it is. You know what I mean? Peaks and troughs. But I really, really, really don't need my bills to go higher. So yeah, I'm pretty fucking worried. So it's not great. Petrol ludicrously high. Like, the amount of money I spent on petrol trying to go to things to film them in August was horrendous. And now electricity's went up as well. It's great. It's so great. Where's the dog? The dog is in bed. It is 22:41 here. Oh wow, this is flown. I am looking. Has anyone made a Karen joke since you got your haircut? Yes, Sean, they have. Including me. I made many of them. And I tied it up, to be honest, for the first 5 days, because I was worried it was Karen looking. And then I sort of just had to get over it, because it was also very difficult to tie up. I would love to see you and Dermot spend a day out on an Irish farm taking care of the animals. See, I would love to do stuff like that, but if I was to do that kind of thing for my channel, I would actually have to hire a camera person, which is probably not in my wheelhouse at the minute. I would love to get to a stage where I could do that. Do you still want to get a greyhound? Yes, I want to get a greyhound so bad. Why did Celtic lose tonight? I don't know. I do not watch soccer. Maybe you could try staying in Ross Castle in Meath. Okay, I'll look that up. Ross Castle, Meath. Hellfire Club hike and story. Oh, that's a good one. I'd need to, and that'd be easy enough to find. Hellfire Club story for Halloween. So I've done the hike a couple of times, but I've never told the background of it, and that's because I don't really know it, but it would be very easy to find out. I know some of it. I know that there was a club there and they were believed to be Satanists, etc., etc. But I would have to find out the exact story. The Shanachie Eddie Lenihan. I'd have to look that up. Okay. Worried about electric costs, switch them flashy lights off. Yeah. Well, I mean, my dad was like, don't use your electricity between 6 and 8 because it's going to be more expensive. And I was like, okay, I'll turn off my computers. And he was like, your computer wouldn't use that much. And then I was like, so what can I turn off then? I was like, I'm not going to not watch TV. And he was like, well, don't be like using the cooker. And I was like, well, like, you have to eat. Like, I don't know, like, do you know what I mean? So, fuck it, basically what I'm getting at. Would you ever go to a Hurley match for a video? I would. I went to a Gaelic football match for TG Cahir for our Instagram sponsorship and loved it. God, I loved it. It was great. It was action, never stopped. It was brilliant. So I would love to go. Edson Glutes, I feel overlooked. Why? What have I missed, Edson? Oh, you said, I so love your accent. I know what accent. I have a Mayo accent mixed with a Dublin accent because I'm from Mayo and I grew up in Mayo, but I have been living in Dublin since I was 18, I think. And yeah, they just melded together. I have the most Dublinized, bastardized accent. Did you see Alex's French bit used in a US YouTuber site? So no, but you're the second person to say this to me. Can somebody link me that? I would love to see it. And I also don't know what you mean by Alex's French bit. Like, did Alex do some sort of French accent in a vlog once or something and it ended up on a US YouTuber site? I really need to know what this is about. Rathfarnham Castle is a story of a woman in a yellow dress that got bricked up behind a wall. Oh my god, Rathfarnham Castle. I can't type enough. I can't type quickly enough. Alright, I'll go back through the chat later and try to find it. Dublin Bus Ghost Tour. I have done that. There is a video of that on my channel. Starkiller 0007. What's your opinion on circumcision? What a random fucking question. But I'll answer it. That is not really done here. It's not like... I remember the first time I found out everybody or it's like more normal in America to be circumcised. I was like, what? You know, if I have kids, they won't be getting it, put it that way. Do you have a gas stove or an electric one? I want to say our cooker's electric. If Alex is still watching, I'll hear him laugh if I'm wrong. Everything is expensive here. We pay for our lovely parks at the pubs. Brianna, thank you so much for the super chat. Matty, don't be using the cooker. You're right. You are very literal when you're naming things. What do you call it? A stove? Do you find most Irish dislike the British? I think it's more of a meme, really. I do think that Irish people love to slag the Brits off, and like in public, in private, like all the time. But when you meet a British person one-on-one, like, you get on with them great. And but yeah, it's more the idea of the Brits that the Irish like to slag off and the institution of the British Empire. Are you south side or north side? Like Dublin. I have lived on both, but my accent, unfortunately, is very south side at the minute. Terenzo 50. I did send you the link twice. Okay, I don't know where you sent it to me. Just tell me where you sent it to me and I'll go looking for it. Would Alex do any streaming videos anytime? No. Who from Try haven't you been partnered with that you would like to? Ooh, my friend Vange has just started doing Try videos. And he's been in a couple. Thomas Fanning, he's the tall guy. And I would actually like to be paired with him. I think it'd be good crack because we're obviously friends in real life. And he's been on my podcast a couple of times. Maybe it's just the texture. What are your thoughts on the potential of a durian ice cream milkshake? No. Durian's not nice. Have you tried durian? It's horrendous. Rate Mullingar out of 10. I don't think I've ever been at anything in Mullingar ever. So, like, I'd have to give it like a 2. Subject to change. Subject to actually going there and doing something there and knowing what it's like. Have you any favourite Dublin pubs or must-sees? So I kind of like a lot of Dublin pubs that are probably too young for me at this stage. Like, I love a bit of D2. But I don't really like the club scene much anymore, but I do like DJ. I used to like Dicey's. I don't go to Dicey's anymore either. I'm trying to think any other ones. I do love the ones in the chain, P Max. So they're in a chain, and like in there you can get like, they give you bags of meanies for free and like apple lollies. So random. Well, I love that, but I don't get to go there very often. Is everyone not the tall guy around you? Haha, Sean O'Sullivan. That's not wrong, but no, he's really tall. He's like 6 foot or 6 foot something. Do you ever see Leather Jacket Guy? No, I don't. I don't really know Leather Jacket Guy outside of the Try channel, and he's not appearing in the Try channel at the minute. But I see he's like back on his own channel and he's making his own stuff, and he's doing really well. And I know that John Sharpson sees him all the time. And yeah, I always really liked him. I would have actually liked to be in videos with him more. So if he ever decides to come back, I'd be up for it. Thank you so much, Corey, for the super chat. Do you think the British monarchy is parasitic? God, she's fucking trying to get me like in trouble the whole way through this. But I think monarchy is bullshit, and I think that the Commonwealth should be disbanded and everybody should be given their freedom. And I think that's what I think. And that's my opinion, and I just don't want to have to defend it. Thank you. How about a video of you and the Try ladies having a potluck dinner? Yeah. I keep getting suggested this come dine with me, like to do a come dine with me with people just for fun, and I do think the idea sounds like fun, but I don't like cooking. I don't want to cook. Have you ever been to a Flacchiole? Now, I have been to a Flacchiole, and I've been to a Flacchiole as part of I think it was when I was in the Irish Language Society in college, and we went to the Flacchiole, or was that the Oireachtas? Or maybe I haven't been to Flacchiole actually. I'd love to go. Okay, so I've caught up with the chat now, so let's go to the community page, because I feel like I need to answer the questions here as well. Just because people went to the effort of putting them there. So let me just change my screen. Okay. There we go. So, axe throwing looked like great crack. Any other triers you'd like to take along for a session? I do want to go and try axe throwing again. And yeah, Kelly would be somebody that I'd really want to bring there and do it with. Let's see. Favorite and least favorite try video you've done. So my favorite would have to be, I think, it's either the donuts one we did, Dunkin' Donuts, or it might be the one actually where we tried cinnamon treats, because I got to try cinnamon popcorn. It was amazing. Actually, no, they're all lies. There's a video that's not out yet. It's my favorite, and I can't say what it is, but I got to try my favorite thing. I don't want to say what it is. I got to try the thing that is associated with me, that all my friends associate with me, and they go, Claire likes this. I got to try that in a video, and it's going to be out soon, and that's my favourite. Least favourite, teddy bear, the spicy teddy bear. Horrendous. I paid for that for like 3 days. When will my favourite couple from Ireland visit America? I would love to. It's not on our horizon at the minute financially. I would love to though. I would. What is it like to be a trier? It's good crack. You get to tell the guys when you're available for filming. You get to go in. You get paid to sit there and eat and drink and have the crack and talk utter shite, and then you go home. And then also it's given me access to like a whole new group of friends. So I must say, I do love it. How is life going for you these days? Pretty good. Kind of I have a lot of stuff shot over the summer that I'm going to edit now. I'm going to be a bit more relaxed. The summer I was going a bit mad and I got very tired. And so yeah, I'm just going to leg my ski, relax and spend some time editing and get it up online, and then start working towards Vlogmas, which I'm very excited about. Can Millie take part in the live stream too? I did not see that, and unfortunately Millie has gone to bed. Besides rugby, what other sport are you into? So through Alex, I've gotten into quite a lot of other sports as well. I'm mad into, I like watching rugby. I also like watching the Formula 1. Now, I'm not going to lie and say I'm like an avid watcher. I sort of watch it on and off. But I do like watching it because of Drive to Survive. We watch Drive to Survive. I do like American football. Again, not an avid watcher, but I'll watch it when it's on. Because Alex got me to watch things like Hard Knocks and Last Chance U and all these different documentary reality TV shows about American football. So I like American football now. I recently went to a Gaelic match, ladies Gaelic match for DG Carr, and loved it. So thinking I might get into that now as well. I used to be mad into tennis because I used to play tennis when I was younger. I kind of drifted from tennis, but I probably wouldn't watch it now, to be honest. But I used to be mad into it. Wimbledon used to be the highlight of my year. What other sports would I be into? Where's spam? There we go. Okay, please, if you would, give a little bit of insight into what it's like in every day in Ireland. I live in the USA, boring at best, no ancient history here. I've always wanted to see the new green side, but at my age, it's just a dream. So everyday life in Ireland is probably like everywhere else. I remember saying this before to to somebody. Like when I was younger, I was like, life would be better if I didn't live here, if I went off and lived somewhere else. Where. And so I fucked off and lived somewhere else. And while I loved the other places that I lived, I didn't really have the best time in San Diego living there. And no, I had a good time, but it was way too much of a party thing, if you know what I mean. I didn't really get a good idea of what it's like to live in San Diego. I could have done it better. I loved living in Australia. Loved it. But I was struck by the fact that it's same shit, different country. Do you know what I mean? So you still have to work. You still have to make money. You still have to do A, B, C, and D. And so I guess that's why I think living in Ireland is the same as living anywhere else, really. You still have to go to work, do this, do that. You're hanging out. And also there's lots of ancient history here, but most of us don't encounter it maybe on a daily basis, or maybe we do, we just don't think about it. I mean, when I was younger, we used to we go to a not burned down, but a decrepit old abbey and go drinking at it. Do you know what I mean? So it's whatever is normal for you, I suppose. And it just it's hard. That's a really hard question to answer when it's your norm, if you get me. Who do you miss doing videos with? I don't know how to answer that, because I don't miss doing videos with anyone, do I? Who do I not do videos with anymore? Oh, Ryan, actually. Ryan and George, they moved away. Now they're home sometimes. And Lolsy's back as well, but those would have been the people I would have said if they were still gone. And Serena as well, but she's also coming back the odd time. So all of those when they're away. We just took a 2-week tour driving all around the entire island of Ireland. We tried to find a place you hiked with the little fairy house. Apparently we were in the wrong place. We hiked up and over a mountain in Dingle. Oops. Can you tell me what county that was in? So I actually think that you also emailed me about this because I think I did see an email and the details were that, yeah, it was down in Kerry. Oh, and you also said in the email that it mustn't have been the right hike because it was wet and windy and there was sheep shit everywhere. And I have to tell you that made me laugh so much. I don't know what fairy hike or fairy house hike you're referring to. I'm not 100% sure. Like I cannot remember. I really, really don't know what hike you're talking about, and it definitely wasn't in Dingle or in County Kerry. The only place I can think of is that there's a ferry loop in Dublin where it's just a pile of rocks. And then I did another walk in Dublin one time where I showed this like basically old structure and I said, oh, it's a little fairy house. I'm wondering if that's what you're talking about, but I don't know if it could be. But yeah, I'm sorry that you went to the wrong place, but like, you know, I'll put it this way, you know, if I was going to America to go specifically do something that I saw in a YouTuber's video, I would like double check that I had the right thing. I don't understand how you ended up in Dingle. Did you just Google like fairy hike and then go to the first one? You know what I mean? And then just the fact that you were surprised that it was wet and windy and there was sheep shit. I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but like that's Ireland. That's all of Ireland. I know so many people think it's really romantic and blah blah blah, but actually it's wet, windy, with sheep shit everywhere is hiking in Ireland, like, you know. And that's, I mean, that's Instagram. That's Instagram lying to you. Like, I'm sorry you went to the wrong place though. That is kind of funny. Are you the girl from Alex's channel? I am. What's your review of Jurassic Park? Since you should watch it before doing the Q&A. I have not watched it yet. I've never seen it. How do you keep your gorgeous hair looking so healthy, especially playing sports? Do you have a specific hair routine? I do not. I use conditioner, I think. Yeah, I don't do anything. I don't know. I remember that when I was taking folic acid every day, my hair looked amazing, but I don't do that anymore. And when I was taking a multivitamin every day, because it had that in it, I remember Kira being like, "Oh my god, your hair, it's amazing," and I was like, "Thanks. I don't know what I'm doing different." And she was like, "Are you taking supplements?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm taking folic acid." And she was like, "That's it. Your hair and skin are amazing." So I must do that again, actually. How did you and your husband meet? And is there any possibilities of little ones running around in the future? Fucking question is so annoying. I'll do the first one first. How did you and your husband meet? We met at work. He was my boss. And well, technically we met on my interview day. When I told him my email was... Oh no, I didn't tell him that on the interview day. I actually told him that over the phone later. I told him my there's a short on my channel about it. I told him my email address and it was Tiny Ginger Princess, and I tried to spell it out so he wouldn't realise what it was, and then he was like, "Did you think I wouldn't figure it out once it was written down?" And I was like, "Oh right." Is there any possibilities of little ones running around in the future? No. Nope. That has been an ongoing saga you, I assume, are not aware of. And yeah, the answer is no. I'll eventually do an update video about it, but in the future maybe, but not in the near future. Where haven't you been that you're dying to go? Hawaii, Iceland to see the Northern Lights, and there was another place where I've totally forgotten it. Well, I'm obviously not that dying to go then. Will you meet me here in Somerset? No. Your earlier videos highlighted Irish speakers. Are you still interested in producing content in that area? Yep, I've answered that one already. What is your best moment when vlogging? Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know the answer to that at all. It's probably some moment where Alex came in and said something funny. Did you ever learn how to make a Sunday roast? I did not, and I'm damn proud of it. How do you keep a positive mood despite the dreary weather? Our weather hasn't been that dreary this year, actually, but you're just used to it. Will you ever visit the States or another country for a vacation? As soon as I can afford a vacation, I will. What's your favourite thing to do with Alex? Probably hang out, watch TV. Ooh, go cinema. I love going cinema. I love when you teach us about Irish culture. Would love more Irish history and folklore, especially if it's spooky. Yeah, I've gotten that from this chat, and I'm gonna do it. Don't worry. How is Millie? Millie is all good. She is 7 now. Tell us more about playing tag for Ireland, teams you played, etc. I've played on mixed senior tag rugby for Ireland, which is where men and women play together. Men have to be over 33 and women have to be over 30. And I've also played on the women's seniors. That's what I currently play on. So I played on the last 2 years. Women's seniors tag rugby for Ireland, which is where women have to be over 30. What future videos can we expect? I've named a good few of them, but also all of the ones we've gone through in the chat here are on the list now as well, don't worry. How is Alex? Alex is good. I presume Alex is still watching the live stream from the other room, or maybe he's fallen asleep with his phone in his hand. More importantly, how are you? I am good. Thank you so much for asking, Greg. Thank you for all you do. I love your channel and content, and I'm very proud to be one of your patrons. Thank you very much, Greg. I'm delighted to have you. How long did it take to reach your level of Irish? I'm learning now. I learned it in school. Like, I've been learning it since I was 4 through to 18. Then I did it in college for another 4 years. So that's about 22. Then I stopped. So age 4 to 22. But like, you can definitely get it quicker than that. Like, you can learn it quicker outside of the school system. And you can especially practice it more. Would love some spooky Irish folklore stories. Yep, I have that on the list. So this is actually a really interesting question that I spotted. How Irish does an Irish American have to be for an Irish person in Ireland to consider that Irish American an actual Irish person? It's like a tongue twister. So what I would say to that is, and I thought about this long and hard because I actually saw this question a while ago. I was thinking about it and I was like, first and foremost, on our passports, it says that anybody born on the island of Ireland and its islands, if that makes sense, is Irish. So I was like, anybody born in Ireland, obviously. And then I was like, no, because you can move here as well and be considered Irish if you live here. So then I was like, okay, so it's born and live here. And then I was like, but also you can live elsewhere and be born elsewhere and still be Irish. And so I guess what I landed on was, if you can qualify for any of the Irish national teams, because some of those are real loose, some of those rules. So if you can qualify to play for any of the Irish national rugby or football teams, then you're Irish. Like any of all the New Zealanders who play for Connacht and Leinster are Irish now. We own them. No, we claim them. They're Irish. So yeah, that's what I'd say. If you can qualify for any of the Irish national teams, then we consider you actual Irish, as you call it. And the thing is, there's nothing wrong with heritage. Like, there's nothing wrong with having Irish heritage, but like, I think the confusion comes when people are like, I am Irish. Like, for example, I think in my test I had Italian heritage, but I don't go around saying I'm Italian. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I guess that's what I'd say. How many more counties in Ireland do you have to visit before you completed the entire island? I have a good few. I haven't done them all at all. So I have a good few left. You have a great brand going. Where do you see in 5 years? This is an interesting question because it's incredibly hard to answer. I don't know. I'm not doing a career job. I'm not doing a job that has a trajectory per se. It's all totally dependent on luck, basically. And I don't know, and I can't tell. And I'm just sort of hoping that I'll still be making content or doing something that I love if I'm not still doing that. But I do hope I am still making content because the last 2 years have been brilliant. And other than that, I hope I'm happy and healthy. Hope I'm not dead. I would like to have a kid, but if not, I will definitely have multiple dogs if I'm not dead. Okay, I'm going to catch up on chat here. What's your level of proficiency? Rain Peters, I've seen every one of your videos. Love you. Thank you, Rain. Love you too. Gregors, what's your level of proficiency in Irish in comparison with other Irishmen? That's like, how long is a piece of string? I'm in the chat now, by the way, in case you're wondering. What do you think on the issue with the Irish language and era, and what would you like Irishmen to do in this respect? I don't know. Like, I guess more grants and supports for people that want to operate through Irish, I guess. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of supports in place, and you know, all our like signs are in Irish and the roads and stuff. It's all very bilingual, and people don't really speak Irish day to day, I guess. And I don't know what the solution is to get them to do that. I guess what maybe one thing I would do is try to encourage more people to move to the Gaeltacht. So try to help with some kind of like jobs program in the Gaeltacht or something, which is the Irish language area. So encourage more people to move back and live in Irish language areas and stay there and not move out. Can regular members of the public become triers, or do you have to be a social media person? No, but like, you have to be willing to be on social media, so you have to audition. They every now and again they'll have an open audition. You have to film a self-tape and send it in. So you do have to be somebody who is comfortable on camera, is comfortable with that those videos going up on the internet, can maybe take the reaction, because sometimes the reaction is not good, like the time that I said that the corn dogs are American by accident, and it turns out they weren't American corn dogs, and people went absolutely mental, and that was a tough couple of days. But it was more annoying couple of days. I was like, it didn't say American corn dogs anywhere in the title or description, or nobody else in the video had said American except for me. This was a misunderstanding. But anyway, yeah, whatever. Was the new pub that's replaced your first day pub any better than the original pub? I remember you said it was a pub you both didn't really like. So, Lisa, thank you for that question. This is in relation to the event we went to recently, which you'll see more about in the vlog when it goes up. But I did post on my Instagram that the event we went to recently is a new pub that's in the place of an old pub that was actually the pub we went to on our first date. It is, I would say it's probably a lot younger now. Like, the reason we didn't really like the porterhouse when it was there is because it was all craft beer and it was probably aimed at an older market. This one's definitely aimed at a younger market maybe than we are now. And it's got a lot more popular drinks. It's not just craft beers, you know, so the choice is a lot better. I do quite like their USP, their gimmick, which is that everything is on tap, including like cocktails and wine. But it's more of a club pub, and I personally prefer old man pubs now, which is funny because porterhouse, I didn't like it at the time, but now I've totally changed my preference now. So it's totally different. I guess it's really hard to compare, and I like them both for different reasons. You have enough subs to do channel memberships. Also, please, more live streams. Brianna, that's a good idea. I have a Patreon, you see. So I guess I didn't really understand what I could offer in channel memberships that I'm not already offering in Patreon. And in Patreon, I get a much better split than on YouTube. So with Patreon, they charge you like, I think it comes up to 10% maybe total of all the different charges, like currency conversion, etc., etc. But with YouTube, I'm pretty sure it's 70-30, as in, is it YouTube gets 70? No, that couldn't be right. Whatever it is, it's incredibly high. Like, you don't get the majority of the channel membership. Very similar to Twitch subs, actually, because Twitch subs, you get 50%, I think. So if somebody gives 5, you only get 250. So that's why I went with Patreon originally, because I get a much better, more creator forward split on it. But I do understand that it limits people because people have to click off the page and they have to go to a different profile, and maybe they don't want to. And so maybe I could enable channel memberships just for people who want to support but don't want to go to different platforms to do it. And maybe, you know, maybe that could be just it. Or maybe I could match my Patreon tiers, but then I can't really match my Patreon tiers because of the split, if that makes sense. But maybe I could do some of the kind of cheaper Patreon tiers. I could copy them over on channel memberships and just do like the early access and stuff, and the live streams. But the exclusive content would have to remain over on Patreon with the exclusive content club, because that is my main, you know, income source. That's kind of what keeps me going, is Patreon. It's what keeps the lights on. So I really, really rely on Patreon to make ends meet. So I wouldn't want to damage that, and that's what I'm kind of concerned, is setting up channel memberships might damage that, because you're splitting people up, if that makes sense. You don't have one place to go to send people. Emil, thank you so much for the super chat. Buy Alex a pint and ask him when he's going to start his channel slagging Clisare. Linda, there's a fairy ring on the Ring of Kerry tour. Okay, I don't think I did it though. Sorry, I'm just catching up with the chat. I know people were responding to things I was saying earlier. Oh, I've lost my place in the chat again. I'm back. Are your grandparents still alive? Random question. But no, I don't have any grandparents left. My granny died recently, and she died at 102, I believe. And so she had gotten a letter from the president when she turned 100. I'm pretty sure she got another one at 101, but I could be wrong. So yeah, no grandparents left. I never met my paternal grandparents. I only ever met my maternal grandparents. But some of the best advice I've ever been given is if you start a new job, all your grandparents are still alive. If you're cold as ice and you need a few days off and you're not worried about karma for making that lie, you could be like, oh, my grandparent died. How many kids have you planned for your future? I feel like people asking these questions are not really aware of the whole fertility thing been going on for a very long time now. And so that's why those questions are really annoying. But anyway, I don't know. Best laid plans of mice and men. I, at this point, don't know if we are going to have any. I think we'd be lucky to have one. So, no plans, put it that way. Because it's impossible to plan. Have I tried the Celtic martial art? Batharucht. That couldn't possibly be a real thing. I'm going to Google that. That couldn't possibly be a real thing. Oh my God, it is. Oh my God, it is. A Batharucht. That's fucking hilarious. That's called Batharucht. That's one of the funniest things I've ever heard. Oh my God, it is actually a real thing. Batharucht. In Irish martial arts, Batharucht refers to various forms of stick fighting. That's fucking hilarious. I'm absolutely going to try that now. Thank you. I'm absolutely going to try that now. Fascinating info on the tri-channel audition process. Was it the same for Facts? No, Facts wasn't run as well as Try is. In any way, shape or form. Although, actually, that's more of a joke because the owner had nothing to do with the audition process. I don't know how people got onto the channel. I know that I got, for example, Paul onto the channel because I needed somebody with really long hair, and like someone recommended me someone who knew someone who had like a guy with really long hair, and there was like this guy. Have you seen this guy on Facebook? He looks like Jesus, and the rest is history. Is your hair naturally red or do you dye it? It's naturally this colour. If you consider this red, then yes. If you don't, which Alex doesn't, then no. Let's see. When I was in Dublin at a convention, I welcomed everyone in Irish. About half the people answered back, with a few having a confused look on their face. Yes, because we don't speak Irish day to day, and certainly not in Dublin. So, did you ever look up Ben Bat? Your husband looked like him, and would you believe I had not? Ben Bat. I don't see what you see here. I don't really think Alex looks like him. Yeah, I don't really see it. Maybe it's in Shameless you're talking about. Where, yeah, because he's closer when he has red hair, but I don't really think he looks like him, to be honest. Do you still do videos on the Try channel? I was in a video 3 days ago. Like, there's literally, why didn't you just Google Try channel Clisare and you'll see 3 days ago I was posted a video with me in it. Could have sworn I saw you on the Lucy Investigates advert. Please elaborate. Yes, Sarah, you actually have. And I don't know what episode I'm going to be in. It's either going to be 3 or 4. And I haven't seen a cut, and I won't see it till it goes live, and I have no idea what it came out like. But yeah, I'm going to be in the Lucy Investigates TV show on Virgin Media, which is very exciting and very cool. Excuse me. Is Patreon or Ko-fi better for you? Well, Patreon allows people to like sign up to a monthly recurring commitment, and then I have a number of rewards for that. So Patreon is better in that way, but Ko-fi is better if people just want to give like a one-off, because you can't do that on Patreon. Give a one-off show of support or whatever, or just say thanks for a video. I think I do have super thanks on my videos now as well, but again, YouTube take a massive slice of that. But yeah, and then Ko-fi takes no fees whatsoever, so you get the full money that people send you. And I find Ko-fi's very good like at Christmas time, because people might throw me a tea. I call it a tea. It's coffee. It's originally like, but people buy me a coffee, but you can change it to tea or whatever else. So people will throw me like a tea at Christmas. So I find it's like good then. But Patreon literally, because of the recurring subscriptions, literally keeps me afloat. I do have a thing on Ko-fi as well that it's good for, is where you can like set a specific goal and people can donate towards the goal. So like I have a goal on my Ko-fi towards upgrading my gaming setup. I originally had it as upgrading my streaming setup and getting like a gaming and streaming computer, but I don't think that I'm going to get to that. So I downgraded it to a PlayStation 5, but also I don't think I'm going to get there either. But I would love to update my streaming setup if I could. How would I send you a suggestion for content or show ideas? You could have just said it there and then I would have read it. Oh, God. Don't plan, Clisare. Life gives us little surprises sometimes. I know that you mean well. Us having a surprise child is not going to happen. Can I put it that way? Like more than likely, we've been TTC for 2 years now, so we need to figure out. Anyways, would you appear on the House of the Dragon? What part would you play? Oh, I'd love to. I'd do anything they give me. Person stands in the back, but it happens to be on a TV show. Would do me. What else? Would you rather fight 10 Millie sized Alexes or 1 Alex sized Millie? I'd beat 10 Millie sized Alexes, definitely, but I wouldn't beat a Alex sized Millie. Although an Alex sized Millie wouldn't fight me. She'd just want to. Although she might like crush me because she'd be trying to cuddle me. So I would say 10 Millie sized Alexes. I like that question. It's the first time I got that question. I always enjoy the try videos. Are they as much fun as they look like? They are. I mean, sometimes they're not. Like, the Durian ones are not fun. But so I'd be better off sending a gift to your mailbox. Eliminate the middleman. Who's the middleman in this thing? Hi Claire, I've been watching your videos since 2018. I live in Dublin since 2019. I look forward to meeting you randomly in the city to say hi. Of course, yeah, I don't mind meeting people at all, like out and about. It doesn't happen very often, but the odd time someone will be like, do you make videos? And I'll be like, I do. And they'll be like, cool. And like, that's the end of that. And I do quite like it when it happens. Any plans for an OnlyFans in the future? I'll answer this question honestly, like I did the last time somebody asked it. They got really mad when I answered it honestly, but I will continue to do so. Was thinking of setting up an OnlyFans specifically to sell pictures of my feet so that I could make a video talking about how much money I made selling pictures of my feet, because I thought it would be a really interesting experiment to see how it would work, and I just never got around to it. So that would be the only plan for an OnlyFans. There would be no traditional OnlyFans happening here. It is just not my scene. I'm not comfortable with it. I'm Irish. Hello, Bill. Welcome from Twitch. Could they not put an option in Ko-fi for donating money for petrol or diesel? I mean, I could change it to petrol or diesel if you wanted. Instead of saying buy me a coffee, it would say buy me petrol. That's quite funny, actually. I could do that. That's very, very funny considering how expensive petrol is. Is Dermot really as funny as he seems? I think Dermot is funnier than he seems. As I said, he's my favourite. Have you ever backed out of a try shoot because it was too disgusting? No, because you sign up to go there, and like if you were to pull out, you're leaving them. You can't pull out. Like they. Do you know what I mean? You can't like, so for example, if you're on a TV show, you can't just show up and go, actually, I don't want to film today. Like that's not how it works. So no, I haven't. Although I did once forget I was supposed to be in a shoot, to be totally honest with you. I forgot to write it down on my calendar, and then I forgot I was supposed to be there. And everybody, on the bright side, everybody thought I was dead because I'm usually so reliable, which I was very complimented by. They were all ringing my phone trying to figure out, and I had it on fucking airplane mode because I was editing and working and didn't realise that it was a day when I was supposed to be in try. And so yeah, everyone thought I was dead. And they had to get somebody in at short notice, and like they held up the whole day, held up all the shoots, felt really bad about it. I'll never do it ever again. And so yeah, no, I would never ever 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 do that on purpose. I did it once by accident. Did you name your dog after my wife on purpose? Yeah, no, 7 years ago I named my dog after your wife, Kevin, on purpose. Oh, sorry, Mike T. YouTube is the middleman. Well, I mean, yeah, you can send something to my PO box if you want me to have like an item, like a physical item. But I would warn you that it is gone down again, the amount of gift that you can send from outside of Ireland to Ireland. I think it's down to $40. And so anything above that, I end up getting taxed on, and sometimes as well, depending on what you send, it gets sent back by customs. So Ko-fi or Patreon are the best ways to support me. Claire, do I remember correctly that you have family in the Chicago area? I don't know. I don't think so. I could be wrong though. I definitely have lots of family in America, but I don't think so. Sign up for OnlyFans, but only post Alex feed pics. Right, so has anybody else got any questions before we finish up? I think we've been going a while. How long have we been going? Oh my god, it's 11:30. I haven't had my supper yet. Gonna have to go make myself some chicken noodle soup. But yeah, do I play golf? I don't, not physically. I play it on the computer on PlayStation. Would you do more going to different distillery with other tri-channel people? I would. I would like to try lots of different distilleries actually. And God, the names of them are escaping me now in a minute, but I had a list of them that I wanted to do. Seahawks are better than Colts. I used to support the Seattle Seahawks back when beast mode was a thing. Because I just need entertainment with these things. I don't have any particular tie to any of these teams, so I just need to be entertained. So Seahawks were my team. When Alex supports the Colts. And what team do I support now? Oh, now I support the Jacksonville Jaguars because the Jacksonville Jaguars spent half their season in the UK. So they're basically the closest thing we have to a European NFL team. So I support the Jacksonville Jaguars now for that reason. But Seahawks used to be my team. Thank you so much for everyone. Will it only be the Irish people understand what you mean when you say you're going for supper? What? No, surely everybody knows what supper is. I enjoyed your day trips around Ireland with Kira. Are there any more day trips coming up? I am trying to get more coming up with different people. But it is hard because I do this full time. I'm free Monday to Friday. People who don't do this full time aren't free Monday to Friday. And yeah, so I want to get more of those going. They're hard to organise. I am trying. So yeah, thank you for all your questions. I will address the like fertility related questions eventually in a dedicated video. I'm not really in the mood to talk about those right now. Not the way they were put to me. Which is, it's fine, by the way. Yes, I will do a fertility update at some point, because a lot of people have been asking me privately, but I'm not ready to do that yet. Alex, if you're still watching, please go into haunted house with your wife. Yes, please go into haunted house with your wife. They're not that scary. Like, come on. He's worried he'll have a heart attack. He won't have a heart attack. They're not that scary. Like, come on. Thank you so much for joining. It was really cool. Very exciting to do a live stream on YouTube. It's very scary. But it was really cool to do a live stream on YouTube, and I would like to do ones like this every now and again, if you'd like them. But yeah, if you want more regular and more kind of relaxed live streams where I do commentary, or I play games, or I chat shit, head on over to my Twitch, which is Clisare on Twitch as well. Sign up to my Patreon if you're interested in supporting me in return for rewards like extra content, exclusive merch discounts, Patreon only live streams. What else? Early access to videos, ad-free access to videos. I have a Ko-fi if you just want to support me without any particular reward. And I have my new merch, which I would love if people would buy, because I'm very proud of it and I spent a long time designing it. And I have a sustainable option that I'm very excited about. So those are all the different ways that you can check in with me and follow and support if you're in a position to do that. But at the end of the day, liking my videos, watching them on YouTube is the biggest way that you help me out. And thank you so much for doing that to date. And yeah, thanks for joining the live stream. Ihawa, which means good night. Slán. I will put a link. I've mentioned a load of links there. They're all down in the description of the videos. Of this video, excuse me. But I'll put it in a comment in the chat as well there, just when we finish up. One last question before we finish up. Have you ever felt lonely? Yes. Like, hasn't everyone felt lonely? But I am the kind of person that actually really enjoys my own company now. So I don't particularly feel lonely. But I love the company of other people. So I would much rather do things with 2 to 3 people than do them alone if I had the opportunity. But I'm fine if I have to do them by myself, because I just talk to myself constantly.